And then I have a very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
I'm sure he has already so many toys, but maybe what's his favorite toy?
Let's play drums.
You want to have drums? What you will have for a birthday?
Growing up in the Trump family has never been simple, but for Barron Trump, the challenges have stacked up in ways most people never see. From constant public scrutiny to unexpected personal pressures, his life has been shaped by forces far beyond his control. Each year seems to bring a new controversy, rumor, or obstacle tied to decisions he never made. Today, we're taking a closer look at the complicated journey of a teenager born into one of the most polarizing families in America, and why his story keeps getting harder to ignore. Barron's childhood of constant change. Most people would assume Donald Trump was thrilled when he found out Melania was expecting Barron, but the truth was a little different. Donald was actually caught off guard by the news. The couple had been married for less than a year and hadn't planned on having a child so soon. With 4 adult kids from earlier marriages, Donald hadn't imagined starting over with a newborn. Melania explained it back in 2006, telling People magazine, "He came home and I told him he'd be a daddy. And his reaction was, at first he needed to take it in. It was a real surprise. And then he was very happy." Donald himself admitted he didn't expect things to move that fast, saying, "I expected we were going to have children, so I wasn't totally surprised, but I was surprised by the speed of it." And from the moment Barron Trump was born, those early surprises shaped what became a very unusual childhood. Born on March 20th, 2006, Barron stepped into a life unlike anything most kids experience. Even though he went to high-end schools, he never stayed in one place for long. The circumstances around his family meant constant changes, and the frequent school moves weren't something he enjoyed.
The 11-year-old Barron has been attending Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School on the Upper West Side.
His first school was Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School on Manhattan's Upper West Side, close to the Trump Tower penthouse. But once Donald Trump launched his run for president, everything shifted. Barron had to leave New York when the family moved to Washington, D.C. Melania tried to soften the transition by keeping him in New York until he finished the school year, but he eventually enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland. The changes didn't end there. After Donald Trump lost the 2021 election, Barron had to switch schools again. This time he moved to Florida and attended Oxbridge Academy in Palm Beach, joining the class of 2024. All of these moves likely took a real toll on him, especially at such a young age. Autism rumors and Rosie O'Donnell backlash. Donald Trump's medical history has never been fully available to the public, aside from a 2020 physical that noted obesity. Since he rarely shares personal health information, it makes sense that nothing concrete about Barron Trump's health has ever been released. Barron appears completely typical in public, but in 2016, comedian Rosie O'Donnell questioned that image when she tweeted, "Barron Trump autistic? If so, what an amazing opportunity to bring to the autism epidemic." Her comment came from a YouTube video titled, "Is Barron Trump autistic?" which openly questioned whether Barron might have autism. When her tweet sparked backlash, O'Donnell, who had long been known for her public feud with Donald Trump, insisted she wasn't attacking Barron. She explained that her own daughter, Dakota, had been diagnosed with high-functioning autism, something reflected on her website. On the other hand, Melania Trump reacted strongly, taking legal steps to force the removal of the hashtag #StopTheBullying video. A leaked letter from her lawyer stated, "The video allegedly seeks to stop the bullying of Barron Trump, not true." The video did instigate further bullying by Rosie O'Donnell and others. O'Donnell later apologized publicly, writing, "I am sorry for the pain I caused. It was not my intent. I am truly sorry." Public scrutiny and cruel jokes. Growing up as Donald Trump's youngest son has brought its own kind of fallout. Barron often becomes a target in the ongoing fights between his father, critics, and the media. Online trolls regularly aim harsh comments at him simply because of who his father is. Right after Donald Trump's 2017 inauguration, Saturday Night Live writer Katie Rich tweeted, "Barron will be this country's first homeschool shooter." Rich's post was deleted soon after, but the damage was done, and she was suspended from the show indefinitely. Barron also faced criticism for something as simple as what he wore. The backlash became so intense that other presidential children stepped in. Chelsea Clinton and Jenna Bush Hager both spoke out, publicly defending Barron from these unnecessary attacks. Jenna Bush Hager expressed to People magazine that Barron Trump had no say in his father's decision to run for president and shouldn't be judged for it. Chelsea Clinton also shared on X that the media and the public needed to step back and allow Barron the private, normal childhood he was entitled to. Growing up under constant protection. Although Barron spent his early years around private security, becoming the child of a president pushed everything to a completely different level. Once Donald Trump secured the Republican nomination, Barron's daily life shifted overnight. Being followed everywhere by Secret Service agents is no simple experience for any child, and it was a major adjustment for him at just 9 years old. From that moment forward, every step he took had to be monitored, and he couldn't go anywhere without an escort. It's easy to see how this kind of pressure could weigh heavily on someone so young. Even after leaving the White House, Barron continued to receive Secret Service protection. When he enrolled at Oxbridge Academy in Palm Beach, Florida, the school's head sent a notice to parents explaining the new security situation. The letter stated, "A small contingent of Secret Service agents will be present during each school day. We are working directly with the Secret Service to ensure that logistics and security work smoothly and discreetly, with little impact on students, faculty, staff, or day-to-day operations." Barron remained under this protection until age 16, while his father, as a former president, retains lifelong security. Divorce rumors loom over his life. On top of everything already shaping his world, Barron has also grown up with constant chatter about his parents' marriage. For years, headlines and commentators have pushed claims that Donald and Melania Trump barely get along, pointing to moments of awkward public body language as evidence. Unverified stories have continued to spread, including talk that Melania Trump supposedly wanted to file for divorce. While none of these claims have been proven, a few individuals connected to the Trumps have repeated them. Omarosa Manigault Newman, who knew Donald Trump from The Apprentice and later served in the White House, once said, "Melania is counting every minute until he is out of the office and she can divorce," and added, "If Melania were to try to pull the ultimate humiliation and leave while he's in office, he would find a way to punish her," she added. It's impossible to know how much of this reaches Barron, but navigating these stories while being a high school student, an age when emotions run high, could easily take a toll. Constant media speculation, paired with viral clips like Melania swatting Donald's hand, likely made his home life feel even more exposed. Dark threats against a young teen. There were moments when things became even more serious for Barron. Threats against anyone are alarming, but when they involve someone his age, the situation grows even more disturbing. In August 2023, a woman named Tracy Fiorenza appeared in court after allegedly making threats toward Barron. Authorities took her into custody at her home in Chicago, stating that she had mailed a letter to the headmaster of Barron's school in Florida that said, "I will state that I will Donald Trump Sr. and Barron Trump straight in the face at any opportunity I get." According to NBC Chicago, Fiorenza was charged with transmitting threats to slay or injure another person across state lines in a criminal complaint. It isn't clear how much of this incident Barron knew about, but any teenager would find news like this deeply unsettling. Reluctant move to the White House. Unlike many children who might feel thrilled at the idea of living in the White House, Barron showed clear hesitation about the move. He likely did not expect just how much his father's election would unsettle his life. Donald Trump's win required the family to leave New York, shifting Barron into a completely new environment. On top of adjusting to heavy media attention, he also had to adapt to non-stop Secret Service protection. For a 9-year-old, these sudden changes were understandably overwhelming. Reports from 2016 noted that Barron was deeply attached to New York and his school, but he wasn't as eager about the idea of living in the White House. Donald Trump told People magazine at the time that he believed Barron would eventually see the move as something positive, especially once he understood how it allowed his father to help many young people. Still, Donald acknowledged that the transition felt intimidating for Barron, mainly because the boy worried he would be separated from his friends. Barron grew up with every comfort a child could hope for, but stepping into the role of the first son was far from easy. The shift brought challenges he never asked for, even as his parents worked hard to shield him from constant attention. Barron had everything any kid could ever dream of wanting, but becoming the first son proved to be a difficult transition. Barron's silent battle with COVID-19. Reports from E! News later confirmed that Barron Trump tested positive for COVID-19. His case drew attention because it came months after President Donald Trump had repeatedly downplayed the virus's severity following the World Health Organization's pandemic declaration in March 2020, even calling it Kung Flu. By October of that year, Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and their 14-year-old son Barron all contracted the virus. In a post later removed from the White House website, Melania, through NPR, shared that she had been worried about how the virus might affect Barron, even when his first COVID test was negative. She later revealed that she feared what could happen in the days ahead, and when Barron was tested again and came back positive, it confirmed her concerns. Despite that, she said he handled the illness well and had no symptoms. She added that having all three of them experience the illness at the same time allowed them to look after one another and stay close throughout the situation. Barron has since tested negative. Donald Trump's case, however, became far more serious. He required intensive treatment at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Melania and Barron remained quarantined inside the White House, where they followed doctors' guidance, took vitamins, and kept to a healthy routine while recovering. The president later spoke about Barron's quick recovery, saying, "I don't even think he knew he had it, because they're young and their immune systems are strong, and they fight it off 99.9%, adding, "And Barron is beautiful and he's free." Living under his father's legal shadow, Donald Trump has dealt with controversies for years, but things escalated when he faced criminal charges that could possibly lead to jail time. For any teenager, the thought of a parent going through court battles and potentially ending up in prison would be frightening. Barron Trump has had to live with the fact that his father might face serious legal consequences. Donald Trump has been indicted on numerous charges, including an alleged hush money case, election interference, classified documents, and more. If found guilty, he could serve time, though both the outcome and any possible sentence remain uncertain. When asked whether he worries about prison, Donald said during an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, "I don't even think about it. I'm built a little differently, I guess, because I have had people come up to me and say, 'How do you do it, sir? How do you do it?' I don't even think about it." A multilingual child of two cultures. Having parents from different backgrounds comes with certain advantages. Even though Barron is often said to resemble his father, he has also embraced his mother's heritage. In a 2016 interview with GQ magazine, Melania Trump shared that Barron was fluent in her native Slovenian. Reports say he used the language when speaking with his grandparents, who lived close to Trump Tower at the time. But Slovenian is not the only language he learned alongside English. Melania mentioned to People in 2009 that when Barron was just 3 years old, he was also speaking French in addition to Slovenian and English. "He's very special. He talks non-stop," she told the outlet. However, the story seemed to shift 2 years later. During an appearance on the Joy Behar show, Melania said, "Barron speaks 2 languages completely perfect. He goes from one thing to another, other Slovenian than English." This raised questions. Did he stop using French? Did she simply overlook it at that moment? Or was he not fluent enough at the time for her to bring it up? Speculation over vaping and can'ts. These questions continue to linger. Some people believe that Barron Trump might have been the reason behind Donald and Melania Trump's push for stricter rules on e-cigarettes. As vaping grew rapidly in popularity, many young people began choosing it over traditional cigarettes. But in September 2019, then-President Donald Trump announced that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration would soon introduce what he described as some very strong recommendations concerning flavored e-cigarette use. By that time, several deaths connected to severe lung illnesses were reportedly tied to vaping, and another report linked around 450 lung injuries to the fast-growing product. Melania Trump shared her worries on social media, saying, "I am deeply concerned about the growing epidemic of e-cigarette use in our children." She added, "We need to do all we can to protect the public from tobacco-related disease and death, and prevent e-cigarettes from becoming an on-ramp to nicotine addiction for a generation of youth." During a later press briefing about vaping risks, the president, standing beside Melania, said the issue came to his attention because of her involvement. Without directly naming Barron, Donald referenced him in an unusual way, saying, "She's got a son together that is a beautiful young man, and she feels very, very strongly about it." Barron was 13 years old at that point. As a result, many Twitter users started guessing that Melania might have caught Barron vaping. Donald added a bit of fuel to the rumors when he said in an interview, "We haven't told him anything, but don't vape, referring to the message he and Melania had given Barron, becoming an uncle before age 2. Not many people can claim they became an uncle at just 1 year old, but Barron Trump can. Known for being gentle and caring with his nieces and nephews, Barron has basically spent his entire life in that role. Donald Trump even described his toddler son during a 2009 appearance on Live with Regis and Kelly as a very young uncle, adding, "He's a sweetheart. He's great." Barron is now an uncle to 10 grandchildren in the Trump family. That includes Donald Trump Jr.'s 5 children with his ex-wife Vanessa Hayden and Eric Trump's 2 kids with his wife Laura. He is also an uncle to the 3 young Kushner children, born to his older sister Ivanka Trump and her husband, former advisor Jared Kushner. All the children, especially Ivanka's, seem to enjoy being around him. In a 2017 Fox and Friends interview, Ivanka said, "Now with Barron here, they have so much fun together and are so young. They're really just kids, so they are just enjoying it." The cousins often spent time in the Oval Office with their grandfather, which was always a highlight for them. Ivanka once posted a video showing Barron smiling in the background as he played peekaboo and shared a high five with her son Theodore Kushner. A White House field trip dream. Imagine being a kid getting the chance to explore the White House, something most students never experience. Barron Trump actually made that dream real for his 5th grade classmates from Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, bringing about 80 students for a special tour. According to page 6, the visit even included a meet and greet with the president. The students arrived in their best outfits and were guided through the building by Secret Service agents. A source said Barron was on his best behavior throughout the trip. The group enjoyed a buffet lunch, visited several areas of the White House, and met both Donald and Melania Trump. An insider shared that Donald Trump gave the kids an energetic message about potential and service. Barron was described as polite, excited, and proud to show his classmates around. The adventure continued with a tour of Washington, D.C., and an overnight stay before heading back to New York. Barron missing at Trump's farewell. Goodbyes are never easy, and for the Trumps, the farewell moment that marked the end of Donald Trump's first term in January 2021 was no exception. As the family prepared to leave the White House for the incoming administration, many noticed that Barron Trump was missing during this significant public moment. Donald stood on the tarmac surrounded by members of his family as he delivered his final remarks before boarding Air Force One in Washington, D.C. But unlike the others, Barron did not appear beside them. He also wasn't seen leaving the White House for Joint Base Andrews to witness his father's farewell speech, according to People. While no official explanation was given for his absence, it was widely noted by the press. Interestingly, Barron did board the same Air Force One flight with his parents afterward as they headed to Florida. He simply chose not to attend the public send-off. Donald closed his remarks with the well-known line, "Have a good life. We will see you soon." Barron Trump's alleged secret romance. The rumor claiming that Barron Trump is dating a young Argentine ballroom dancer named Carlos shows how fast social media chatter can distort private lives. TikTok posts and other online videos pushed the idea that Barron, then a freshman at New York University, had a secret date at the Trump family's New York residence. The story spread even further after an ex-user posted, "Barron Trump will be the first gay president in history," alongside an AI-generated image of Barron smoking, which added more confusion and fueled dramatic claims that had no verified source. More speculation followed when Page 6 reported that Barron supposedly booked an entire floor of Trump Tower for a private date. His brother, Eric Trump, reacted to the story by saying, "Oh God, you don't want to know the dating advice that I gave Barron." He also added that shutting down a floor of Trump Tower is like PG-13 versus where my mind would have been at his age in terms of the dating scene. Eric described Barron as mature, above his years. Even so, none of these claims have been confirmed by any reliable source. No verified information supports the idea that Barron is dating someone named Carlos, or anyone publicly. His family, including his father, has pushed back quietly against the online narratives, emphasizing that these rumors have no solid backing. This situation reflects how quickly the children of well-known figures, especially those who rarely appear in public, can become targets of exaggerated stories, and how difficult it is for real facts to keep up with viral speculation. Barron Trump's quiet college shift. A recent look into Barron Trump's life shows an unexpected change. After quietly moving from NYU's Manhattan campus to the university's Washington, D.C. branch, the 19-year-old is now living inside the White House during his sophomore year. Donald Trump seemed to confirm this in a Fox News interview with Laura Ingraham, smiling as he said, "He's here. He's right upstairs." While showing her around the residence, his remark offered a rare peek into Barron's current living setup, which has stayed mostly private since his transfer earlier in the fall. Barron is studying business and, according to People sources, has been putting much of his time into growing his financial interests. Forbes recently estimated his net worth to be around $150 million, a number tied to his early involvement in cryptocurrency and his part in helping bring the Trump family into the crypto world during their 2024 project launch. Even with rising public curiosity, those close to him say dating is not something he is focused on. Instead, Barron is giving his attention to school, family, and building the early steps of his own career. So what do you think? Is Barron Trump's story truly as complicated as it seems, or is there more beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to check out one of the 2 videos popping up on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.